Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about why client payments give you the freedom to do what you want. Okay, so I'm coming to you from the Oxfordshire countryside today. I had a meeting with a client and it was like out, and it was like he was on a farm, so I got to drive all the way out into these narrow one-way roads and everything and go visit this farm, and it was really nice. It was like one of the nice things I like about meeting with clients is it takes me all over the place. It could be like in the city, it could be, you know, in London or one of the big Oxford, one of the big cities, or it could be like, you know, an industrial park out someplace. It could be somebody's house. It could be like out in the middle of nowhere. And it's so much nicer meeting with clients in person than it is like over the phone, right? And the only, you know, because you get to hash out a lot more things, you get to scribble things down on paper, you know, and also you have that personal touch and everything, the kind of thing that, you know, you can't do with outsourcing. It just gives you that, you know, that whatever, right? And the only thing it costs you is gas. There's a bit of petrol, is to fill up the tank and head out on the go, right? So really, it's really been a nice day, despite the fact that that it's, you know, muddy and gray and drizzly today here in England, but it's just nice to go out for a drive, right? So the only thing it costs me is gas, is to fill up the tank and to go back out again, right? And I was reading something recently where they talked about it was like a book of entrepreneur stories, right? And then one of the stories was about somebody who started out in their own business, and as soon as they started, you know, they did their first client project. When they got that first payment, they realized how much freedom it bought them. They realized that with that payment that they could go for another 2 months without you know, without working or start working on the next thing until they needed that another infusion of cash, right? And I started thinking about it, right? It's very much like when you fill up the car with gas, right? Every time I fill up the car with gas, I have the feeling of, you know, oh good, I'm good for the next 350 miles, right? And I started thinking, what am I gonna do with those 350 miles, right? And that's the same thing with client payments, right? It's something that, I mean, when you're working a permanent job, you don't think about it. You know that on a certain date, a certain amount of money is going to come in, and you know how much it's going to be, right? And you squander it. You take out loans, you make, you know, payments on things, you spend, you know, you spend and maybe save a little bit. When you're on your own, you try to save as much as you can, and you always know when you're like working for yourself how much freedom you have left, how much time before you have to really start working on it. The nice thing about the apps and passive income is that's always coming in. I know how long I can survive off that, but when you get those regular infusions of client payments, when you do a bit of client work, then you know you can invest that back into your company and do some more work on it. It's very liberating, and it's fun to think about the potential of it. Even though you know that, you know, a lot of the times the reality is that you're gonna squander it, you know, like you're gonna squander the car full of gas on, you know, going back and forth to the shop or going to the office or whatever, and not taking the big trip that you could do, right? And the same with the big payments. You try to, you know, it's very easy to squander those and let those get away from you, but it's one of the, you know, I'm always going back and forth with you. Am I just going to work on passive stuff? I'm going to work on the passive income, or stop working with clients, or should I just focus on client stuff? And I like both. I love the passive income, but it's hard to build, right? But the client work is really great, especially because it buys you a little bit of freedom to do the stuff that you want to do. Anyway, those are just my thoughts for today. You know, parked on a kind of a busy lay-by here in the mud and cars driving by, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you work for yourself? Is this the kind of feeling that you have? Are you somebody who's just completely sworn off client work altogether? Anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.